Hi, welcome to everyone for my next presentation. That most interesting presentation, the interesting topic in computer security techniques, and it's a most interesting and as well as also the most research-oriented topic. Now, since if any, there are the most more research is going on this area to improve the security. It's not only in a computer system. It's also in wireless networks. Even it may take the sensor networks or mobile hack networks. Okay, so if anyone willing to do the research or the your project in project, you can choose this is a domain so that you can able to get to know what are the various problems which is associated in that. So the topic which I am going to present here is intrusion detection. Okay, so the intrusion detection is defined in RFC 2828. So first it have a two terminology. One is a security intrusion and next is intrusion detection. If we have a intrusion, then only we have a intrusion detection concept. So what do you mean by security intrusion is called as a security event or a combination of multiple security event to gain the unauthorized access by the adversary or the third party. Okay, so without having any proper access permissions. Okay, so for that we need to go for the intrusion detection concept. That is, it provides a flexible mechanism to analyze and to monitor the events happening in the system to find out whether it is by the legitimate user or by the unauthorized users. Okay, and it also provides for the real time access and as well as also the near real time warning also it is trying to provide. That is the intrusion detection. Okay, so in general there are the major classifications of intrusion detections are: one is a host based intrusion detection system. That is, it in a single host what are the event is going to happen and how it is going to be compromised and whether it is any suspicious event or events are happened or not. So a monitoring of the single host, that is called as a host based intrusion detection. And next one is, if it is based on the network systems, automatically it is called as a network based IDS. And then a third one which is based on the sensor, because a sensor is a plays a vital role in nowadays in all the areas, because now IoT is coming like anything. Okay, so this sensor is acting as a it collects the data and it process certain thing and stored into the memory. Okay, so there is a huge adversaries, they are trying to hack those informations, especially network packets, log files and system call traces. All these things are related to the informations which is there in the sensors. Okay, so these all are these are the two major classifications of intrusion detection, and this is the logical components of IDS. One is called as a sensor. Okay, so one component of intrusion detection is called as a sensor, because a sensor is it collects the data, so it is easily compromisable by the adversary or the third party. The sensors can be accessed by using unauthorized way in a very easy manner, so that this we have to make it into the considerations of IDS. Is one of the component is a sensor, and next is called as an analyzer. So what analyzer will do is, analyzer it will receive the input from the sensors or from the other analyzer. Okay, so after receiving it, what it is going to do, it will identify whether any intrusion is happened or not by comparing the some matching patterns. Okay, once if it is intrusion is happened, the output of the particular analyzer is whether the intrusion is happened or not. If it is happened, then it gives the guidance about what actions to be taken as a result of the intrusion. Okay, so all these things will be defined in the analyzer. That is also one of the logical component, and second is user interface. So in this user interface, it enables the users to view the output from the system or from the analyzer to control the behavior of the system. Okay, so some system that user interface may equate to a manager, director, or a console component. Okay, so the basic principle is the basic principles of intrusion detection concept is, so authentication facilities, access control facilities, and firewalls plays a vital role in countering the intrusion concept. That is to overcome, to effectively to have that intrusion detection. So all these three concepts are plays a vital role. So another one lines of defense in this is intrusion detection. Okay, now this intrusion detection is the most popular and the most research oriented area where we can do some role based scheme with the help of this intrusion detections. All these things can be possible with the help in the intrusion detection. Okay, so in this case there is why it is a most popular research area is because there are so many considerations. In case if we are detecting this intrusion in very quickly, then we can able to avoid the attack in the in earlier stage itself, before damaging, that is before damaging or before compromising the particular data. And even if it is after if it is the concept is slow, even after some compromising some data, if we are detecting that intrusion detections, no problem that the rest of the data we can able to recovery. Okay, and next is, an effective IDS can serve as a deterrent, that is it acts as a prevention mechanism that's acting to prevent the particular intrusion. So we have to define effective design a effective intrusion detection system for preventing the any types of attacks. And next is intrusion detections enable the collection of informations about the intrusion techniques that can be used to strengthen the intrusion prevention measures. Okay, so the intrusion detection is based on the assumption that the behavior of the intrusion is differ from the legitimate users behavior. Obviously when we want to have that intrusion detection is, so intrusion detection is strongly believe that it is designed in such a way that the behavior of the user and the intruder is differ, and it also easily quantifiable. Okay, but it is very difficult to identify what exactly that attacker or intruder done from the legitimate normal behavior, but there is some overlap in between that. So from that overlap only we can able to conclude that whether the system is compromised, whether the data is compromised or not. Okay, so if we have a loose interpretation of the intruder behavior, then automatically we can catch the more intruder, but the major problem here is it leads to a number of false positive. A false positive is a data interpretation error. Okay, we are authorized users identified as intruders. So that is one example of a false positive. Okay, so these all are happened is only for the data interpretation errors. Okay, so this is a typical diagram where we can able to say how we want to define our intrusion detection systems based on the behaviors of the users, and where the exactly the overlapping is come in between intruders behavior and the authorized users behavior. So where this is a area where exactly the overlapping has been done, so we can able to analyze the we can make use of the intrusion detection systems from this overlap to determine whether the data is compromised or the system is compromised or not. Okay, in case if we want to limit the false positive, because false positive is answer is correct, but we have used the wrong methodology. Okay, so it is one of the data interpretation error. So if you want to limit that, obviously we need to go for the tighter interpretation of intruder's behavior. In that case, it will increase the false negatives, or sometimes the intruders are not identified as a intruder. Okay, so we have to create the balanced mechanism of this intrusion detection based on the behavior of the legitimate user, that is a normal user and then a intruder. Okay, for this Anderson given the study reasonable study in the year of 1980s to distinguish between a masquerader and then legitimate user. Okay, now his study is based on the patterns of legitimated users behavior. Okay, so how the legitimate users are identified, because of that the past history, the pattern is stored in the system. So based on that, the past history, they are identified as a normal user or a legitimate users. Okay, if there is any deviation is there in that, obviously we can say that okay, so there was some intrusion is there, so some data may be compromised. So in that case, what Anderson is suggested that the task of detecting a misfeasier is more difficult. Who is called as a misfeasier? Misfeasier is a authorized user is acting as a or entering into the system in unauthorized manner. They are the authorized users to make use of any resources, but they are getting into the system or logging into the system in the unauthorized way. Okay, now this behavior and a abnormal behavior, there is a distinct between, that is a difference between a abnormal and normal behavior is maybe very small. Okay, so such a violation should be undetectable solely through the search of anomaly behaviors. So we cannot able to make use of the anomaly detections in that concept. Okay, so the next is for that, to overcome this one, we need to have the intelligent definitions to differentiate a authorized access and then unauthorized access to overcome the misfeasier attack. Okay, so the next is called as a host based intrusion detection concept. So in this, every host, we are going to monitor the every host activities, that is a host based intrusion detection. In this, what we are going to do is we are going to install a specialized layer of security software into the system. Example, a database server and then administrative systems. We are going to install this specialized security software to monitor the entire activities, that is behavior of the users who are logged into the systems. Okay, now this is monitors the activity on the system in a variety of ways to detect the suspicious behavior. Okay, so in this case, the IDS can halt an attack before any damage is done. But the primary purpose of this host based intrusion detection is it wants to detect the intrusions and log suspicious events, and it also sends the alerts to the administrator so that it can be overcome before the data is compromised. Okay, so in this case, the primary benefit of this concept, the host based IDS, is it can detect both internal and external intrusions. But whereas in a network based system and firewall system, it is not possible to detect both the external and then internal intrusions. Okay, now any one of you who listening this presentation, they can take up a challenge like why the network based system is cannot able to determine both the external and internal intrusions. You take that problem and try to solve that and find out, get some findings that leads to the research in the particular area. Okay, and the host based IDS follow one of two general approaches to intrusion detections. Okay, so one is called as anomaly detection. So anomaly detection is a collection of data of the behavior of the respective, the collection of data is called as the behavior of the legitimated user, which is stored in the particular place, and when any user is trying to access, it will match that behavior Okay, then we can easily identify whether if the pattern is matched, we can say they are the authorized users. Okay, so in this case we have used the two major approaches. One is called as a threshold detection and another one is called as a profile based detection. Okay, and next is the another foremost present day concept is called as a signature detection. That is, it involves an attempt to define a set of rules or attack patterns which can be used to decide whether the given behavior is an intruder behavior or a legitimate user. That is a signature detection. Okay, so in this case, both in anomaly approaches, what we are going to do is we are trying to attempt to define the normal or expected behavior, whereas the signature approach is based to define only the proper behavior. Okay, so when we want to define the signature based approach, we attempt to define the proper behavior. Okay, and anomaly detection is effective against a masqueraders, whereas that is masqueraders who are unlikely to mimic the behavior patterns of the accounts they appropriate. Okay, so in this technique may unable to deal with the misfeasor because they are mimicking the behavior pattern of the respective users. Okay, so we can to have the higher security in this host based detection concept, we can make use of combination of the both approaches for effective utilization of the security concepts to overcome the intrusion attacks. Okay, so the next important thing in the IDS is called as a audit record. So audit record is it is a fundamental tool for intrusion detection. Okay, so it is like a record. It will record some ongoing activities of the particular user. Okay, it may be given as input of the any IDS systems. Okay, so we have two plans in that. There are two records are there. One is called as a native audit records and another one is detection specific audit records. Okay, the native audit record is called as in the operating system itself some accounting software that collect the information about the user. That is, in default in operating system is have the facilities of this accounting software, especially a log files. It identifies, it collects the activities of the specific users. For this case, there is no additional collection of software is needed, but the major disadvantage of this concept, the native audit record, is it may not be those information is not sufficient, or it is also not convenient. It is not in the convenient form to detect the attack, to detect the intrusion. Okay, so the next attack we can say detection specific attack. So as the name itself, it is a detection specific audit record. So it contains only the information that required for the particular IDS. What type of detection is happened. So what is the major advantage in this concept is vendor independent, obviously, and it is ported to a variety of systems. We can able to install into the variety of system because it is a vendor independent. But the major disadvantage here, it having a extra overhead. Okay, why is it? Because of extra overhead. Maybe in the system itself in default some of the accounting audit record is also running. Then if we are installing this detection specific audit record also, it leads to the overhead. And what are the varieties of fields in the audit record? Okay, totally the 6 fields are there. One is called as a subject. A subject is called as a initiators of action. Okay, we can typically say that it is a terminal user. All the activities are done only through this subject alone. Okay, this subject may be grouped into the different access classes, and these classes may be overlap. And next is called as action. So action is called as what is the operations are performed on the object. Example is logic, login, read, perform, IO, and execute. And next is called as a object. So object is recipients of actions, recipients of action. Okay, example, the element on the particular system is called as object. Files, program, messages, records, terminals, printers, and user or program created structures. Okay, all objects may be grouped by its type. Okay, if the object granularity may vary by one type into the another type, we cannot able to use the same sort of audit record for the database server and as well as also and some other server like web servers. Okay, here in database server, so the audit has to be conducted based on the database as a whole or based on the record level. An exception condition, that is also the one of the field. And resource usage, then it is a quantitative element, how they are utilizing the resources and what are the elements are used in the particular system. This all this thing is to be taken care for the intrusion, identifying the intrusion behavior. And the next one is the final one is called as a timestamp, that is a unique time and date is used to identify when the action took place. Okay, so given a simple example here, a file copy involves the execution of the user command. Yes, obviously with the help of the copy command we can able to copy the file from one place into the another file. Okay, which includes doing access validation. Yes, obviously if I am performing a copy, obviously the system will identify whether the particular user is having the access rights to copy the file or not. Okay, and setting up the copy plus the record read from one file plus the write to another file. So obviously if we are going to perform the copy, if we are having the copy access, obviously if every user is having a read permission as well as also the write permission. So in this case what we are going to do is we are going to consider the command issued by the Smith to copy the executable file, that is called as a game, copy that game.exe file from his present working directory to the library directory. Okay, so the command issued is copy game.exe to a library folder, that file name is called as a game.exe. So a copy command, this is a source from where I want to copy and where I want to paste it. Okay, so to where I want to copy from my present working directory and where I want to put up, that is a library directory. Okay, so in this case first the system will check, the intrusion IDS system will check whether the particular user is having a read permission or a write permission. So this command is like that: Smith execute a library, in the folder it execute the copy.exe and it reads the particular file in his current working directory, and it trying to execute a write, but a write is not granted for the particular user, that is called as a Smith. So the write violation is happened here. So once if any violation is happened, the system is automatically terminated the particular command. So this is a way we can able to detect the access violations also in the IDS concept. So it having the three major advantages. One is we have all the objects are in the protectable entities, so we can easily identify the behavior of the particular user, whether they are affecting the object, their behavior is affecting the object, or it is a normal legitimated user. And second one, a single object, a single action record, audit record specify the model under the implementation, and because of simple, it have the uniform structure of the detection specific audit records, and it is relatively easy to obtain this information, and it is straightforward to map into the native audit record for effective detection. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed with this with my presentation. From this presentation we can understand what is the concept of intrusion detection. So intrusion detections is obviously work in the principles of the behavior patterns of a legitimate user and a third party, and that is a adversary. Okay, so in this case sometimes we can able to effectively determine a masquerader, but some systems, some intrusion detection systems may not sufficient to identify the misfeasor. The misfeasor is called as authorized users, but they are accessing the system in an unauthorized way. Okay, thank you.